Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about sunflowers. I am obsessed with sunflowers, all kinds of sunflowers, every kind of sunflowers. I love them. But I just went through and gathered up some of my favorite varieties that I wanted to talk about. Most of these I will be growing for the summer 2022, so I'm super excited about it. I get most of my sunflower seeds from Florets, Johnny's, and Eden Brothers. So all of these that I'm reading off today you can find from either of those three sites. Some of them are sold out, but I'll put links to the different websites down below, so definitely check them out if you want any of these sunflowers. And I'm just going to jump right in. So if you are looking to grow sunflowers mainly for cut flower gardens, bouquets or farmers markets or whatever, you're a floral farmer, I highly recommend the Pro Cut sunflowers, and there's so many different ones. Each Pro Cut sunflower averages a bloom of about 4 to 6 inches, so they're not the humongous ones that are too big for arrangements. So the perfect size for arrangements. All of the Pro Cut sunflowers that I know of get about 6 to 7 feet tall, and it's around 50 to 65 days of maturity. So Pro Cut flowers or sunflowers, they get one stem, one flower, and that's it. Once you cut it, it's done. So if you're wanting to have these throughout the season, they recommend doing succession planting. So plant a first planting and then 2 weeks later do another planting. So that way when your first planting is done and used and harvested them, then you're gonna have some more plantings coming up within a couple weeks. The first Pro Cut sunflower that I'm choosing to speak of is the Pro Cut Red. They're these beautiful deep red sunflowers. They're on a single stem. So the Pro Cut Red sunflower is a deep ruby red, and it gets has a nice dark center, and then as it goes out it kind of gets a little bit lighter around the outside of the petals. It is pollinous, so it does not have any pollen. It gets 60 to 72 inches high, and the mature date is 50 to 60 days. Next one that I love, we had a dark red, now we're going to the other end of the spectrum, and we are going with White Knight. It's a creamy or ivory white petals, and it's so beautiful. It has a chocolatey brown center. This one is pollinous as well. I think all of the Pro Cut sunflowers are pollinous. 60 to 72 inches high, again the same 4 to 6 inches flower head, and it matures in 60 to 65 days. Next one is a Pro Cut Orange, and this one is what I can describe as just your standard go-to sunflower. It has that deep yellow orange petals, that nice dark center, same as all the other Pro Cuts, 4 to 6 inches for the head of the flower, about 6 to 7 feet tall, and just a gorgeous flower. I think you cannot go wrong with this one. Next is a Pro Cut Peach, and I just love this. So unlike the Pro Cut Orange, which is bright and bold, the Pro Cut Peach, you still have that kind of yellowy, orangey color, but it's more peachy color, thus the name Pro Cut Peach. It's more soft, and I think you could really pair this well with both bold colors and more mellow colors. It's just kind of a great one to have, and it's a go-to, works in all arrangements. And if you're not looking for that bold color but you still want that classic sunflower look, this is a great one. There's also a Pro Cut Plum, which is beautiful. It's similar, I think, if you take a Pro Cut Red and a Pro Cut White Knight and kind of mush them together, that's Pro Cut Plum. You have the darker red, and then it kind of goes to a lighter ivory yellowy color on the outside, and it's so beautiful. There's so many other Pro Cut colors to choose from. Another one that I wanted to grow so bad this year was Pro Cut Lemon, but where I normally get the seeds from, they had a crop failure. I'm not sure what happened, but it said crop failure for Pro Cut Lemon, so I will not be growing that one this year, but it's a beautiful light lemony. It just looks so happy. That's the best I can describe. It's just a happy light yellow sunflower. And hopefully next year I will be able to grow it, but unfortunately not this year. So moving on, there are two sunflowers from Florets that I got that I'm super excited about this year. One reminds me of Pro Cut Plum. It's very similar looking, and it is called Ruby Eclipse. It is a branching sunflower, so Unlike pro-cut sunflowers is one stem, one flower. So branching sunflowers like this one, Ruby Eclipse, you have the stem, and then off the stem there's different branches that produce, you know, several different sunflowers, heads of sunflowers. The best way to describe this Ruby Eclipse is it has a mixture of cream and dark red and like a ruby color all blended together, and it is just so beautiful. Gets about 6 to 7 feet high, and it has maturity day of 55 to 65 days. All right, the next one from Floret is Greenburst, and I saw this and I instantly fell in love with it. It has that beautiful yellow sunflower petal, but it has this and this is where I'm assuming it gets the name, it has this green burst of color in the middle of the sunflower, and it just turns to this beautiful yellow petals. Greenburst is pollinous. Same as the pro-cut, 60 to 72 inches or about 6 to 7 feet and 60 to 70 days of maturity. Okay, moving on to the next two sunflowers. It is part of a sunfill line. Everyone knows the back of the sunflower looks so cool. You have like the back green and the back little leaves that go around, little green leaves that go around the sunflower. So an American sunflower breeder named Tom Heaton bred these two sunflowers. One is called Sunfill Purple and Sunfill Green. Now what he did is he focused on getting the back of the sunflower to the front. They are both single stem flowers. They do have very small petals if left in the field for too long, so they definitely recommend only using this for cut flowers. If you do leave them in the field to go to full maturity and then pass them, it's still beautiful, but some of the petals will unfurl and it will create a seed head as well, which will change the overall look of these sunflowers. But I think it's so cool to have the back to the front. I am so excited to grow these this year. I have not grown them yet. I saw these and I knew I just had to grow them. I think they'll be a perfect accent piece in flower arrangements, and I don't know, they were unique, and I'm for some reason drawn to unique things. So I saw these and I just had to have them. Both the Sunfill Purple and Sunfill Green sunflowers, their sunflower head gets about 3 to 4 inches. So nice and compact and perfect for arrangements, and the overall plant gets about 6 to 7 feet tall. They are single stem, so again, just like the pro-cuts, if you want to have, you know, several, think about succession planting. Okay, moving on. I've already talked about some of the red sunflowers, pro-cut red, pro-cut plum, and ruby eclipse, but those are mainly for cut flowers and not edible. They don't produce any pollen, so they won't be producing any seeds. I want to move on to some red ones that produce seeds, just as beautiful as the other ones, but these are actually edible as well. So if you are interested in roasting sunflower seeds, harvesting them, all that stuff, these would be good ones for you if you still want that red sunflower. So the first one is chocolate sunflower. So this is beautiful, very similar to the pro-cut red, but it has that deep red chocolatey, oh, it's just like, I can't even describe it. Beautiful, beautiful sunflower. Next one is the Evening Sun sunflower, also edible. It has those beautiful rich colors, edible seeds, so it can be harvested. Plants grow up to about 80 inches high. Velvet Queen is another reddish one, but instead of like that deep red color like the chocolate sunflower, it has more of a really rusty orange color, which I thought was perfect for fall arrangements. It has like that, you know, that fall color. The next two are, I think, very similar looking. One is called Autumn Beauty. These are great for cut flower gardens as well. And what I love about this is these sunflowers are kind of a mix. You have the red, the yellows, the creamy whites. So if you're looking at trying out cut flower gardens, but really just only have space for one type of sunflower variety, I recommend this one, because in this one variety, you will get all the colors. Colors of a sunset. And these plants grow up to 80 inches tall, so they get tall, yes they do, but they are just beautiful sunflowers, and they are edible as well. Another one that's very similar, in my opinion, is the Indian Blanket. It is a branching sunflower, and it's known for having a longer bloom time and holding on to its petals and color longer than most other sunflowers. So if you're looking for a sunflower that really lasts a super long time, this is the one. All right, the next three that I have are very similar looking, and there's not much difference between the two. I kind of went on a sunflower frenzy and I ordered lots of things that are very similar to each other, like the Autumn Beauty and the Indian Blanket and all the red sunflowers. But these just look like, the best way to describe them, look like massive dandelions. So we have the dwarf teddy bear, the tall teddy bear, and the dwarf sun gold. So the two dwarfs, the dwarf sun gold and the dwarf teddy bear, both are under 36 inches tall. So great for kids, or just if you want more of a compact look. The dwarf sun gold gets up to 32 inches, and then the dwarf teddy bear only gets about 2 feet tall. So perfect for kids, in my opinion, if they want to grow some little sunflowers. The dwarf teddy bear flower gets about 6 inches big, so kind of a nice size. And the tall teddy bear sunflower, the sunflower itself gets about 6 inches as well, just like the dwarf. It's just taller, growing to nearly 6 feet tall. All right, and my last two sunflowers are the big ones, you know, the ones that tower like as high as a building. Not quite, but my aunt and mom always do a sunflower competition every year to see who can grow the biggest, tallest sunflower, and I'm planning on winning this year. So I have the Mammoth Gray Stripe is one of them. It gets about 9 to 12 feet tall, and their blooms get about 12 inches big. But I've seen a few bigger, so we'll see. Hopefully it gets a little bit bigger. They're famous for their gray striped sunflower seeds. They're great for roasting and eating as well. Great for feeding the birds, great for eating yourself. And it takes about 80 days to maturity. The Mongolian Giant, I think, tops the Mammoth Gray Stripe. The flower head gets 18 inches big and it grows up to 14 feet tall. So I will be building supports for these. Has a massive big yellow bloom heads, and just like the other one, the seeds are edible and there's enough seeds on one flower head to last you a while. I'm super excited to be growing these sunflowers this year. I even saw on social media, and I can't remember where I saw it or who it is from, so I'll post a picture. And if anyone has seen this before or know who the credit goes to, please link them in the comments below. But I saw this where you can make like a sunflower house. Essentially, you plant the sunflowers in a circle, and the sunflowers grow up and kind of enclosed together on the top, and it just looks like a little sunflower house. It looks like my kids would love it. And I plan on doing some taller sunflowers in the back or in the inner circle, and then around the outside doing some of the dwarf sunflowers, so you have like a double layer. I think it will be just super fun. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see these sunflowers in action. And I will see you next time. Bye.